welcome. Today I want to show you how to make a folk song with no specific artist in mind, something unique. We're going to go back to basics. I'm going to explain as much as I can. We'll treat this like a step-by-step guide or even like a masterclass. Hope you enjoy. First things first, I have my acoustic guitar and I have an idea. This is the idea. I don't really have a lot of it figured out, but I just like that. Sometimes that's all you need to start a song, to start a beat, to start a demo. So I'm just gonna probably play that and see what I come up with on the way. That's usually what I do. I know enough around the guitar and around music theory to know what chords I should probably go to evoke emotion. And by the way, if you want to know something like that, I got a video about that. It's called like the only chord progression video you'll ever need. It's on the channel. Go look for it, or it's probably up here somewhere. Anyway, let's engage the metronome by clicking here, and we'll find a key. I'll just press play. And that actually sounds like it might be the right tempo. Let's see. That's actually great. Okay, cool. I'm going to press the record button, which you'll hear me now doubling up because I'm using this microphone to record, and make sure my input's selected, which is this one, input L, which is the left input on my interface. I'm going to point this microphone down, see how that sounds. A very important part of recording acoustic instruments, like this one right here, is getting the sound sounding good before it hits the DAW. Otherwise, you're going to be fixing it in the DAW, and you'll want to pull out your hair, and sometimes you can't even fix it in the DAW. So it's best to get it to sound good before it goes into the DAW. And I think this sounds good. Yeah. Next up, you'll probably want to tune your guitar, make sure it's all in tune. Mine is, or at least it should be. And yeah, let's start. Okay, you'll notice I actually messed up right around here somewhere. Right there. So I'm just gonna click behind it, about 4 bars behind, and re-record. I might not be enough time, maybe 2 bars behind. And now that we've got that, we'll just line it up, make sure it sounds like I didn't cut it in, and I'll probably move it over to there. Sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to play through this entire song, or at least make up what I'm going to play through this entire song. And then I'm going to do the same thing again with a second guitar being the same guitar, but a second guitar track. And then I'm going to pan those left and right, and you'll see it sounds really nice and polished and really pop and clean and wide and awesome and dope. Let's do it. Thinking around here, I'm probably going to go to E minor, start like some sort of pre-chorus thing, yeah, and then I'll go into a chorus. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so there's the idea for the pre-chorus and the chorus. Let's make sure that lines up well and see how that transitions. I did actually have like a little transitional thing here, so maybe I'll include that. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Now I'm going to press Command D. It's going to duplicate the track. It's also going to duplicate all the plugins on the track and duplicate the track settings, but it's not going to duplicate what's on the track, like the guitar, which is useful because sometimes you want to record through the same settings, but you don't want to just have to, you don't want to duplicate and then delete the thing and then have to record again. So that's a nice little thing the Studio One does. I'm sure some other DAWs do it. I'm going to see if I remember how to play this all again. Make sure we arm the track. There we go. And let's do it. There we go. Okay, so I just played a intro I believe, a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus, which means we have enough to duplicate it all and pretty much have a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then we can duplicate the chorus and have a double chorus, and then we kind of have a song right there. So yeah, I think that's good. I don't think we need to do any more work on the main kind of bed of the track. The bed being like the things that sit under the track, the important parts of the track. So let's just listen through and see how it sounds. So you see how it sounds like two guitars stacked on top of each other? That's because they are. But wait till we do this. I'm going to pan this one all the way left and this one all the way right. It doesn't have to be all the way. You can pan it as much left or as much right as you want, but I'm just going to do it fully and fully, and it'll sound nice like this. Sounds nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these and turn it into a bus folder. Now, I love putting a channel strip on my plugins. This is obviously a paid channel strip, but you can use any stock channel strip. A lot of DAWs come with their own stock channel strips. For example, this one has a channel strip as well, and it looks like this. I'm going to name this guitars, and so what I'm doing is processing these two channels at the same time. See that compression? Crazy. I don't like a ton of compression on my guitars. I'm going to add a little high boost to get some nice airy clarity in there. And there's an area that I don't like for acoustic guitars. It's kind of like around 160 hertz. This channel strip doesn't actually give me too much control over the EQ, so I'm just going to put another EQ on. You can use, again, any stock EQ. I like using Pro Q. It's expensive, but it's very, very worth it. And I'll show you exactly what range, what frequency range I want to cut on these guitars. It's that right here. And then a lot of the low end you don't need. I'd say maybe about 50 hertz is where I'd kind of stop. And that sounds good. There we go. Mixing as we record. It's a nice way to save time. And it's also a nice way to kind of find out the vibe of the song while you're making the song. Next thing I want to do is add a pedal steel or some interesting instruments. Again, what I'm doing is paid, but you can always use Splice. Splice has always got very cool pedal steels. In fact, I've used a lot of Splice pedal steels before. What I'm going to do is use Kontact 8, and there is a kind of suite of plugins called the Nashville Toolkit, and those are by Ink Audio, and they sound great. So I'm just going to go in here, press load, and go to my ink steel. Now, in order to hear it, you have to activate it. There we go. And now I can press my keyboard over here. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's switch over to the other camera. Unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of the unfinished studio in it, so sorry. But yeah, let's switch over. Okay, so here we are on the keyboard. This is a Keystation 61. It's just a MIDI keyboard, which means it doesn't make sound. It just controls MIDI, or controls the DAW if you want. The way this patch works, this Kontact instrument works, is everything is on the white keys. Well, it's on the black keys too, but to play in key, you play all the white keys. And then you actually select what key you're playing in on the software. So I'm going to go into Kontact, and I'm not actually sure what key we're playing in. I think we're playing in A. I believe we're playing in A. So let's go all the way to A. That sounds right. And what's cool about this ink steel instrument is I can use this little knob right here to bend notes. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna just kind of figure out a part that works with this and see how it goes. Okay, sorry about that. My screen recording cut, but we have our part here. The only thing I messed up was this little part here. Sounds cool. I don't want it to be this up front. I kind of want it to be more of a supporting lead, I think. So that means reverb and maybe some drive. And luckily this instrument has reverb and drive. I'm going to activate that, maybe bring it up a little bit, and maybe make the stereo up and the reverb up. Yeah, and then we'll tuck it down. First we'll name this, and we're going to tuck it down to around there, see how it sounds. Okay, next thing I want to do, and sorry if you hear my dogs barking in the background, that's just the benefit of having a studio near some dogs, is add a pad. Pads are fantastic to fill out a project. It's typically just one note that kind of just plays under everything. This is actually a great pad right here. It's Spitfire Labs. It's actually free as well, and we'll just activate it, and it sounds like this. Always sounds good. I've used it quite a lot, so I'm not going to use it this time. What I'm going to do is go to the free and see if there's anything I could use as a pad here. Let's see. Harmonic flights. Interesting. Astral forms. Let's do that. I'm going to download that, and then we'll just download one more if it doesn't work. Organic textures, I think I already have. Let's just do LA Atmos. Spitfire Labs is a collection of free instruments by Spitfire, and Spitfire is a great company. They always record just amazing stuff. Chorus pad, that sounds like we want it. Okay, so that's cool. However, I want it to be bigger and less there, if that makes sense. The way I would do that is first to name it pad and put on a reverb. This is called Space Blender. It's actually, I believe it's free this month. It's a really interesting reverb. Cool, right? So I think we'll keep it. All I'm going to do is play just A, the root of the key. Sounds good. Maybe on the chorus we'll switch to the octave above too to keep it different. Or also maybe we'll play the fifth, which would be an E. There we go, that sounds pretty good. Let's add something a little more interesting to it. I'm gonna add something like a retro color. What's red light distro? Oh, interesting. RC20? Yeah, RC20 retro color. It'll have just some texture and some like movement. Not bad. Maybe I'll just activate the EQ. Don't know if I like the noise. Maybe some wobble though. Just a tiny bit of movement would help. Cool, works for me. I want like a piano now, a more defined instrument for the chorus. I'm going to use what's called Musio, Musio is, again, a multi-instrument. I've actually been using pretty much only multi-instrument plugins today. Very cheap too. I think it's like $200 or maybe $300 now, but like it's extremely cheap when you consider what it has to offer. As you can see, just a lot of just beautiful, beautifully recorded instruments. So I was thinking just going piano. Piano in Blue. What's cool about Piano in Blue as well is it's got different room mics, or different different room mics, different miking options is what I'm saying. So I can play the close mic, which sounds like this, or I can play the room mic, which sounds like this, which I like, or I can play the surround sound mic, or the surround mic, sorry, that sounds like this, or I can play them all, which sound great. I'm not going to set up the different angle. You already know how it works now. I'm just pressing this keyboard, and I'm just going to come up with stuff. Playing regular chords, so in the key of A. Stuff like that. Sounds great. Okay, and there we go. Now we've kind of got all the real estate we need to make this a full song. So let's open up our folder of guitars. And I'm going to find where it's supposed to loop, which is right here. And then I'm going to go all the way to the start. Boom. Press D. And now let's listen to that transition. And there's our loop. We just have to, make it sound good. So let's go in here. Gonna give it a little more there. Gonna make it a little crossfade. Crossfades are fantastic because it stops those clicks that you heard from happening. And it sounds like you're like naturally moving into the chord. I'm gonna continue to play the piano. That sounds great. Okay, one thing I'm regretting is playing a last chord on this acoustic guitar because there's not really, what is this flat? Seriously? I'm kind of regretting the fact that we didn't do one last chord. I wonder if we can edit there. And then, yeah, maybe get rid of my sniff. Yeah, it's not bad. Another thing we can do is just get rid of it on that little piano down, which I think sounds better. Okay, so there's like our song, kind of. I think I want to add a lot of some electric guitar. Yeah, I think that would sound really cool. So let's do that. There's a lot of things you can do with this. One thing I would recommend is first, use any amp simulators. An amp simulator is a program that simulates an amplifier for a guitar. Use any stock one that's in your DAW. Studio One's got a great one, actually. I'm going to first make a E-guitar track. Probably going to make 2 of them. There we go. Now we got 2 E-guitar tracks inside my guitar folder. I don't actually want that. I just want them outside of my guitar folder. The pedal board, or the amp sim that Studio One offers, is called Ampire. I want a soft amp, which means probably not a Marshall. Maybe a VC30? Yeah, maybe this one? Blackface, maybe? Blackface. Not the best name for that. Let's try that. So I'm going to plug my guitar in right here, which you can't see, but just trust that I'm plugging it in. And I'll lower you down a little bit so you can see what I'm playing. Maybe even a little bit lower so you can see what I'm playing. Very cool. I'm going to activate this track. I'm going to arm it like this. And there we go. Make sure I plug in the guitar. Sounds good, actually. Let's turn the input up. Yeah, I want a little bit of drive. So let's turn the Tube Dreamer up. It's maybe a bit too much. Okay, I want a nice, realistic reverb. Or actually, maybe I don't. Maybe I want like an 80s reverb. Maybe something like this. This is a classic 80s Verb. It's actually just like a cheaper version of their full plugin by Relab, but I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it. Sometimes this happens. I'm not sure if I like this amp. Maybe we'll switch it to the Vox. Yeah, and then take that. That's better. Maybe even the chorus. Not sure. Not sure. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty cool for our guitar. Let's do a second guitar now, and we'll put on another plugin that I like called the Fine Classics pedal board. It's much easier to get a nice tone in this. I actually have a couple preset ones I like. Okay, now, again, I want these to kind of be a little more drowned in reverb, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put them into a folder with a bus. I'm going to call this one E-Guitar. And I just want to put, like, some reverb on it. Let's see what reverbs we got, actually. That's cool. That sounds cool. All right, that's good for guitar. Okay, so how much more crazier can we go? I think strings would be really nice in this too, just to kind of like top off the last chorus, you know. So again, I'm gonna go to Musio. It's actually right here. Musio's got some phenomenal strings. So let's go to Standard Strings Pro, and it just updated, so nothing is loaded. That's fine. Let's do ensemble. I don't know if I want ensemble sustain. Maybe just like a violin sustain. Look at how many different sustains there are. Appassionata. That sounds good. Yeah, let's do that. Download that for now. See how long that takes. Now, a trick to get really realistic sounding strings is to use this thing that I was using before, the modulation wheel. I was actually using the pitch wheel before, but the modulation wheel, you can see it actually moved down here. It controls dynamics like this. So, worth it. That should sound pretty cool. I think it might be a little too bright. Should we download the room? We might as well. Might as well download them all. That sounds kind of cool. I think I like that a little better. All right, cool. Okay, I messed up a little bit here. And the last thing I think we need is a cello. In fact, let's use a cello solo. The acoustic cello. This one. Load that up. There it is. There it is. Sounds nice. And that's our folk song. Our nice kind of like cinematic, ballady folk song. If you want to learn music production, there's a free 6-hour course in the description. Free, by the way, completely free. Acoustics, recording, production, mixing, even a little bit of mastering in there. So if you want to learn even more and do some coaching with me, feel free. There's a link in the description as well to do that. And if you want me to produce your project, if you're an artist looking for this kind of stuff or even anything else, pop punk even, heavy metal even, maybe not heavy metal, not huge on heavy metal, but maybe, reach out to me. Link in the description below. Hope you enjoyed. Let's listen.